up, YouTube friends? Now, Mother bought some new furniture down here in the basement, and as you can see, this old burgundy ottoman doesn't match the couches. So today I'm going to show you how to make a fast and easy slipcover. Now, Mother chose this fleecy fabric, which I said it's going to be a dog hair magnet. But good thing, this thing's going to be washable. So the first thing that I'm going to do is go ahead and measure the length and the width of the ottoman. So I'm going to take one of these flexible tape measures here, and I'm going to start right here at the floor. I'm going to measure up, around, and down until I hit the other floor, and I'm going to add 1 inch to that. Alright, so this measures 67 inches, so I'm going to add 1 inch, so my length is going to be 68 inches. And now I'm just going to measure from the floor to the floor for the width. That happens to be 57 inches, so I'm going to add 1 inch to that, and I'll make it 58 inches wide. So now I'm just going to take this into the sewing room, and I'm going to cut a piece of this fabric using those measurements. Now that I have my piece of fabric cut here, I went ahead and I draped it evenly over my ottoman here, making sure there was a good inch at the bottom here of overlap. So now you just want to take a bunch of pins here, and we're going to pin this flap right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to fold my fabric over the corner here, just like you're wrapping a present. I'm going to take my chalk here, and right here is the corner. So now I'm just going to take some pins, and I'm going to pin this flap all the way down my chalk line. I want to make sure that at the bottom here, that this fabric and this side of the fabric are even at the bottom. And stick a pin. At this point, you want to make sure that you don't pin your fabric to the ottoman. Then you're going to have troubles getting it off. Alright guys, so I have this pinned all the way down the corner here, and you should have a little flap of fabric that looks like this. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do that to all 4 of my corners. Now it is hard to tell with this fabric, but I went ahead and I laid it so that the pretty side was facing the ottoman. So right here that's showing is the wrong side of the fabric. So now I'm going to finish up the other 3 corners here, and I'll meet you over in the sewing room. Alright guys, so this is what they should look like. This is one of the corner flaps here, and it makes a nice triangle. They should all be about the same size, so mine measures about 16.5 inches wide along the bottom here. So now you just want to take this over to your sewing machine, and I'll be using a straight stitch, and I'm going to sew right down the chalk line. Make sure to remove any of your pins here, and you want to make sure that you backstitch at the beginning and the end. Now this fabric is a little tricky to work with. It tends to shed a lot, and it likes to move around a lot. But I don't mind a challenge. However, if you want, you could just use plain denim fabric and even a heavier like curtain fabric or upholstery fabric, and that should work just great. You could also use cotton if you wanted to, but that might be a little thin. Alright, I'm over here at my sewing machine, and I bumped up my length to a 3. I'm going to backstitch at the beginning here. And just sew all the way down on your chalk line. Alright, I'm coming up at my end here. Now like I said, this fabric is pretty tricky to work with. I think if you had a walking foot, it'd make this a lot easier. So just don't forget to backstitch at the end. Now I'm going to do that same thing for the other 3 corners. Alright guys, so I have all 4 of my flaps sewn here, and before we cut off any of the extra, you just want to go ahead and make sure that it's right how you want it. So this fits pretty good to me. If it was too loose, all you would have to do is go back to your sewing machine and sew over a little bit from the seam you just made, and that'll give it a tighter fit. So now I'm just going to take this over to my serger, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to serge off these flaps. If you don't have a serger, all you want to do is go ahead and cut this off, leaving a 1/2 inch seam allowance, and press your seams open. Alright guys, so I went ahead and I serged all of my flaps off here on all 4 corners. Alright guys, so our final step that we're going to do is go ahead and hem the bottom here. Now you could just fold it up a 1/2 inch or so and hem it that way, but I think I want this ottoman cover to match right at the bottom of the ottoman. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just go ahead and go all the way around, and I'm going to fold it up until it matches where I want it, and pin. So I'll continue to do that all the way around, and then I'm going to take this over to my sewing machine, and I'll probably use a 1/2 inch seam allowance, and I'm going to sew all the way around, making sure to backstitch at the beginning and the end. Alright guys, so I bumped up my length to a 3. I'll be using black thread here, but with this fuzzy fabric you won't even be able to tell. Now as you can see, when I folded this up here, I have quite a bit of extra fabric, so I'm going to go ahead and do a whole inch seam allowance, and don't forget to backstitch at the beginning and the end. Now if you have a walking foot, it'll make this part a lot easier. So what I'm going to do is kind of tug at the back. You don't want to pull it really hard, but just kind of help guide it through. Alright guys, so our washable slipcover here for our ottoman is all done. And I think it looks okay. Now this would not have been my first choice of fabric. It was a little difficult to work with. So after I hemmed the bottom, I went ahead and cut off any extra fabric with my pinking shears. So I hope you give this project a try. If you like this video and want to see more of my videos, go down below and hit the big red subscribe button and give this video a big thumbs up. If you'd like to be notified when I post a video, hit the bell button. Head on over to Facebook and hit the friend button for Scrappy's Patch. If you have any questions about this video or any of my other videos, or would like to leave a suggestion for a future upcoming video, leave me a comment. Feel free to share this video across your social medias. And as always, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.